hold on to your dream. Hold on to your dream. Don't give up on your lofty dream.
To hold on to our dream of giving you a town hall on radio every week. A dream of bringing the most topical issues, some of the issues that even persons who are supposed to be responsible for bringing them to the fore, they consider them as a no-go area for personal reasons, sometimes for what they call stomach infrastructure, or sometimes the issues are too complex. But on Open Forum with Citizen MKO, where we are a policy, ideas bank, and for development, state and nation building as well. That we are the voice for the voiceless, the vulnerable, and justice accelerators for the oppressed. And we have told you that everyone is vulnerable in Nigeria. Our leaders are vulnerable, and the citizens are vulnerable. So, on both divides, you find us there. We even help the oppressors. How? By helping them to stop being oppressive, by holding the mirror to them. Behold yourself. If you get angry and smash the mirror, we will never get hurt because we are doing a divine assignment. I am Citizen Matthew Kofi O'Connor, Citizen MKO, a productivity advocate, a reformer, a solutionist, and a citizen, but with extraordinary drive of patriotism. And like my personal slogan is, if I say yes, consider it done. Consider it done today that we are keeping our promise to bringing two experts who have what Akwa Ibom and Nigeria needs to resolve some issues that have been lying fallow for years. And we are losing, as a state, billions, if not trillions in Naira. As a country, we're also losing trillions. Today will be the second edition where we're going to talk about something. I will soon do the full introduction without wasting time because we have a bumper edition today. And like you know, this is 1 hour on radio that we try to make it as productive as 1 hour can ever be on radio. I can't fail to thank my producer. We call him the old seller. And if you're Kerwem, he's right here doing what he knows how to do best. Thank you so very much for being here for us. So, without wasting time, yeah, you deserve an applause. I like that. For those watching us online, you are on Open Forum with Citizen MKO on Facebook. We are going to have these on YouTube. Thereafter, we are also on Memories 965 FM. Remember, we are broadcasting from Memories 96.5 in New York. You can also have us on Radio Garden Online. Whooping the whole world is with us as we speak. And we set the ball rolling with the first things first, which has to do with the thought for the week, or food for thought, and thought for food for the week. And what do we have for the week? It says, in a room where people unanimously maintain a conspiracy of silence, one word of truth sounds like a pistol shot. Seskau Mitos. I take that again. In a room where people unanimously maintain a conspiracy of silence, one word of truth sounds like a pistol shot. Seskau Mitos. I don't want to add anything to that. If you know, you know. If you don't, please ask a friend or ask Google. That is deep and instructive. And on today's program, we are going to look at a letter or two letters that Open Forum has written to His Excellency Governor Umar Basi Eno, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, on two very important issues. And that has to do with the need to review the mandatory requirements of a voter identification number, VIN, for registration on the Arise Youth Employment Portal of the Akwa Ibom State government. We also look at the quota for persons living with disability and automatic employment. for the freed NYSC members who spent, some of them spent over a year in kidnappers den in Zamfara State. And the second letter is a patriotic advocacy for a dialogue to address issues of marginalization canvassed by the Oro-Obolo State movement agitators and the Akwa Ibom State government. We'll look at that. And then the World Court, otherwise called International Court of Justice at The Hague, had given a judgment in 2012 and 2002, sending Bakassi to Cameroon, and then the Supreme Court in 2012 gave a judgment ceding the oil wells that were hitherto calculated as being part of the coastal area covered by Cross River to Akwa Ibom State. But then the Cross River State government have, through their governor and their spokesperson, including their commissioner, have made it public. They earlier made it public, particularly through the Honorable Cletus Obon, that the Akwa Ibom State governor had agreed to a political solution that will witness the return of those oil wells to Cross River. And thank God, like we said, they made that secret public, and Akwa Ibom people, open forum, inclusive, very loudly, and we have come to bring the facts. That's why we have the expert here in the studio. Very soon you'll get to meet him. The second person is on his way. And then remember that we are running a series for an stock taking and agenda setting for an Akwa Ibom without oil. Because when you know how much is to be spent by government house alone, and you see our IGR is 100%. Some states spend more than 200% of their IGR to maintain just the governor's office. But Akwa Ibom State is about 100%, looking at 2023 revenue of 43 billion, the highest ever in history. But between the governor and deputy governor, their budget was more than that. So we had deliberately, intentionally, looking at areas we can generate money from government-owned investment and taxes from where they should. And we are on the 39th edition, which means 39 weeks. We have held on to this vision. And today we are looking at Ibom Icon Hotel, or Ibom Hotel and Gov Resort. That name has changed at least almost 3 times now, or thereabout. We are looking at a history of great vision marred in iconic mismanagement and failure to make profit after over 4 decades of non-stop operations. Those are the issues we are going to look at. So when you hear such a thing, you know that every second must count. And indeed, every second count. Last week, let's just take a very brief rundown of what we had last week before we now just take tidbits of those things, then go into discussion with our guests. And guess what? We are having a guest join us for about 5 minutes online to discuss one of the issues. We'll get there once we are ready. So last week, we hosted a mystery man who is versed in the oil sector and Bakassi Peninsula issue, most mangrove swamp and all that. He's here today. His colleague is going to join us as well, talking about Mr. Ubom Effiong. So we said here, let me just take a rundown of some of the things that we did. On the story of questionable transactions at the Akwa Prime Hatchery, now alleged to have been named, had a name change, we discovered that shares are held by private individuals, and more questions than answers from the Akwa Ibom State government. So Akwa Prime Hatchery and Poultry Limited, terrible issues going on there. Another failed government investment. The future failure of virtually impaired, the failure of virtually all state-owned investments, despite hundreds of billions of naira invested of the people's funds, should cause concern to the state government. And we are calling on His Excellency Pastor Moino to consider a forensic audit of this state-owned investment. Otherwise, it will be an immortal indictment that we are seeing these things happen and we don't do anything. And some of the people involved, we keep recycling them and giving them even higher responsibilities, or even retaining them where they are, where those corruptions were actually perpetuated. We also talked about a statement by the Cross River State government to the fact that Mr. President and the Akwa Ibom State government and Cross River State government have come to agreement of a political solution that will amount to seeding 76 oil wells in what was called political solution. And Akwa Ibom people, citizens have said it's unacceptable that such a sacred agenda, thank God, it was leaked through directly on Arise TV. And its story is different now. Akwa Ibom State government have made a press statement to say, like it was Subrodaya on a lighter note, say fa foul. And the insight revealed by Mr. Ekpo and Mr. Ibom Effiong on the true owners of Bakassi Peninsula, as was done last week. Those of you that joined us, you now heard from experts, apart from the Supreme Court, that Cross River is not a littoral state. It's not enough that you're bounded by water or you're called Cross River. It does not take stream or water or river for you to be a littoral state. You must border the coast, the Atlantic. And so far from experts with maps showing that is not true. And then the use of sister power. The president had hosted the APC NEC meeting in the Aso Villa. And we have raised advocacy that there should be a legislation that no government house, be it at Aso Rock or state government houses or local government offices, should be used for party politics. And I want to add today that please, those that are close to those in power, we still make this available through a press statement, that henceforth, that legislation should be made. Secondly, very importantly, that the flag of any party in office should not be flown on government houses, not even on their vehicles that they drive. Because once you are elected, you belong to everybody. You belong to nobody. I'm not trying to quote President Buhari, who actually said so. He wasn't the initiator of that quote. He took somebody's quote, but he could not even live by it. There should be no more flying of party flags in government houses at any level, not even on their vehicles, because you represent the people. We will push this advocacy, and we shall document it for posterity. And then, same goes for traditional rulers, religious leaders. Partisan politicking by traditional rulers and religious leaders is desecration of their schools, destruction of their congregations, of the temples that they should be held accountable for. You can be partisan privately, but don't use that office to do those things. It is desecration. Same for government houses that are being used for party meetings. And I think that is that for now. And like I had told us, we are going to just take tidbits because our guests are in the house, and knowing that we have just 1 hour to do everything that we need to do. And what do we want to do? First, we need to look at the, let's start with the issue of the advocacy. The letters we've sent to His Excellency. Actually, that letter, I had to personally deliver it. I didn't want to send administrative secretary because I needed to be sure that letter has been well received and I can boldly present it. Like those watching us online, I'm displaying. The first letter is an advocacy for the setting up of a high-powered mediation committee to broker an amicable settlement of issues of marginalization canvassed by Advocacies for the creation of Obolo State from Akwa Ibom State. If you are online, here is a copy of the letter stamped and received by the Office of His Excellency. I won't go through to read the entire letter, but we have stated that as Open Forum, a non-governmental, not-for-profit organization, have been involved in this Convention on State Creation. And on a personal note, Citizen Matthew Kofi Okono was the secretary of the Ibibio People's Position Paper for the Constitutional Review in 2021. I was the secretary for the entire Ibibio people worldwide. And you know what that means. I have insight. And for 2025, as Open Forum, we have hosted the 2 key actors, the Oro-Obolo people represented by the President General of Oro Union, Esang Sabasi, and the spokesperson of the Ibibio people, who also told us on air that he now speaks for Akwa Ibom people because the Anangs have joined the Ibibio people to say, we do not want the creation of Obolo State. talking about Dr. Samuel Udon-Sack. The take home is that Oro-Obolo people say they have been marginalized, and that's the reason why they need the state. And the Ibom people have said you cannot get a state using our land, any inch of Ibibio land. I must say this. This is not the first time that has been said. It was actually a position in 2021 after the Senate public hearing where there were 4 demands for state creation from Akwa Ibom. So we came back for the House of Reps and we had to amend just that single clause. That no problem, we can create state in Akwa Ibom, but no inch of Ibibio land should be ceded. I'm in custody of that. I actually was the secretary, like I've said. So the long and short is that these 2 groups have accepted to dialogue. And we have sent the letter to His Excellency to please set up a high-power team to mediate. Because one thing is clear. National Assembly is wrong to have allowed state agitators who do not even meet the basic constitutional requirements of endorsement from the state to come forward and then present their agitations at public hearing. Very absurd. Let's not go to all that. So, Your Excellency, and those listening to us, please, if you have the ears of the governor, appeal to His Excellency that Akwa Ibom is one. Our Oro-Obolo brothers, I could have been born there. I have made several advocacies what should be done to address issues of marginalization. They're not just there alone, other places. In number of Ibibio, if you are to cry, in fact, you must not cry. So please, we've done that and we've submitted that letter today, the 4th day of August 2025, and we await an answer. We await the result. The second letter is one that is so dear to my heart, having to do with the current recruitment into the state civil service that's been approved by His Excellency. 3,000 people are to be recruited. And then there's a portal called Arise Youth Employment Portal. That portal has a requirement which I can clearly call obnoxious or apartheid or not well thought out. And that is to the effect that you are not qualified to enroll at all if you do not have your voter identification number. No time to read the letter, but I want to tell you, as somebody that speaks for the voiceless, and the number of calls I've personally received, apart from that we have said this before now, is to the effect that if not, maybe most Akwa Ibom sons and daughters, their future will be destroyed forever if that very demand, that requirement is not reviewed. So we have appealed to His Excellency in the letter here, delivered today, 4th day of August 2025, appealing to His Excellency to direct the review of that very demand. That demand will frustrate or has frustrated so many people already, including even our volunteers in open forum, graduates. Some of the school in the University of Calabar, some of them did not grow up here. Some have even registered, they could not even get their PVCs. And the portal says that the opportunities for every child of Akwa Ibom State, that has not been the case. So, Your Excellency, please review it. Maybe you are not even aware of it. But please, now that I have said it loud and clear, we will hope maybe we are going to be forced to make it's an open letter or do a press statement. But this should be sufficient because government people are listening to this program, including Ministry of Information. Please, that very demand should be removed. And the extension of time should be given for people to register. Then if Akwa Ibom wants to be the first state in the country, including Nigeria, to make a demand for voter registration, voter identification number, to be a requirement to receive government attention, a 2-year notice should be given. We've indicated that here. Let's say 2027, from 2027, you can't do certain things in Akwa Ibom without your voter identification number. That may be acceptable. But for now, no notice was given. It is an ambush that is dangerous and never in tandem with their rights agenda and the posture of His Excellency, who is clearly pro-people. Another advocacy we have made there is to the fact that a number or a quota for persons living with disabilities should be granted. We have a number of them. And one of the things is that those who are able to register, I've spoken one of them, the interview is to be written. You cannot expect somebody that is visually impaired to write an interview because that person is qualified. I have some of them who are clearly master's degree holders. They are visually impaired and they have been looking for this opportunity. We helped one of them to be able to even finish his master's program. Thank God to a government appointee who assisted us with the funds for him to do his project defense. And he has his master's now. So he cannot. The other person too cannot. We've made a request, special request for that, so that those visually impaired will have to be given oral interview. And the big one, quota. Persons with disabilities, one of them, when he saw the promo, sent me a video, live video of his situation. I wept. He is an orphan. He lived in the north with his father, who was a soldier. You need to see his level of physical disability, a polio victim on one of the legs. It is terrible. He's been crying for help. We never met until he saw the promo and said, please, please, be my voice, help me come to my aid. We want His Excellency to please set aside, even if it's 3% or 5% of the 3,000 numbers. Let physically challenged people who can exhaust that whatever percentage be part of it. After all, just yesterday or 2 days ago, the governor rewarded a physically challenged person at a town square meeting. Very important. Those are some of them. The last, not the least, has to do with those kidnapped corps members who spent between months and 1 year in kidnappers' den. And I must say this, we were on the matter with the Ibom People's Congress and others to advocate. And what I passed through, it's God that has helped me to even remain alive and to be able to still speak soundly. I've hosted Solomon, one of them, the one that spent over 1 year here. And later we did a press conference. And I want to say this, I'm saying this for the first time because of, I don't want this to seem as if what was happening. We received words from His Excellency that we should not talk about that matter again, that they are going to be given employment. I was asked to send the CVs of those corps members, which we did. And it is about over a year now. Nothing has been done. Your Excellency, please, those 11 corps members, 4 of them tried to escape. 1 was shot, 3 escaped. And the rest were picked up. And thank God they are alive. All of them came back. Even the AKTC driver. So they should be given special attention because 4 of those corps members have HND. And there's no HND requirement in the program, in the recruitment. About 3 of them have no voter identification number because they could not. One of them actually has misplaced his own. We can't deny them employment. Please, those hearing us, please, I beg of us in the name of God that we worship, or whatever that we believe in, let us give Akwa Ibom children the opportunity to live their lives to the fullest and contribute to the growth of the state. That being said, in the next 5 minutes, I want to take the other matter so that we get to our guests, which once I introduce them, we are getting the ball rolling. It has to do with the Ibom Icon Hotel. Iconic, not icon again, Ibom Hotels and Golf Resort, and the history of great vision, and that is marred in iconic, mark the word, iconic mismanagement and failure. The things I'm supposed to have said, I won't be able to say it here because time would not permit. But looking at the investigative report, one, the most recent, I think 2 days ago by Mr. Temetem, he's a journalist. He writes a lot, and you can find him online. He has said certain things, and that goes to align with an earlier investigative report by one of the most successful investigative reporters and investigative newspapers in this state, if not in the country, the Mail newspaper, which had told us what has been going on at Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort. For 18 years, they have not made profit. For 18 years. You will not believe that we just learned that the staff of Ibom Hotels get salary increase every year, and that some of them earn as much as 800,000. Why? Despite not making profit, individuals are making profit, and shockingly too, that there's a case in court taken to the court by, I think, the last manager, which is the Icon Group, and they even did a caveat emptor warning any other hospitality industry not to come to Ibom Hotels to manage because of their case in court. Maybe that's why the government is using the former commissioner for culture and tourism to now manage the hotel. And guess what? His Excellency has just approved a whopping 27 billion to refurbish the hotel. I can't go through the story, but what we are saying now is that if without what can be called as forensic audit like we have demanded for even other failed state government investments, why would we have to put in another 27 billion? And that excludes the money for about 1,500 solar lights in that place. I want to appeal to His Excellency that we are following conversations, and it is important that that place be audited. Otherwise, we are going to be in trouble throwing money into a failed project. And that is not for our good. We want to speak with Mr. Nomo, who happens to be, he is a journalist. And hello, Mr. Nomo. It's ringing now. He's somebody that has dealt with that issue, and I think he has something to say. Yeah, he's live with us here. Good morning, Comrade Victor Nomo.
Good morning, citizens.
Thank you very much. We are on the issue of...
Hello, good morning, citizens. I can hear you.
Thank you very much. We are on the issue of Ibom hotels and Golf Resort, which has changed name from Le Méridien to Icon. And
hello,
now,
citizen.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, please? We are having some issues. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Please speak to the issue of Ibom Icon. What do you know, or maybe let's not use Icon again, Ibom Hotels and Golf Resort. What do you know that is going on there that is not something to write home about? You can do that. I want to just do this in the next 3 minutes, please, because of our time.
Because of what happened between I bumbled a staff who was wrongly sacked, but today that person has been recalled. Now, I've also sent a questionnaire to the management of Ibom Hotel under Sir Charles Udo. I forwarded the same letter to the chief whip of the House of Assembly, who is in charge of tourism, and also sent a letter. Only Mr. Sir Charles Udo has given me a reply and has told his own side of the story. Now, as you say, that's the government concern. And being a government concern, there should be audit report. So the angle I'm saying is that the account, all we talk about is the sort of management there, the problem Starwood came and left, Icon came and left, Le Méridien came and left. But nobody is talking about seeing the audited accounts of that hotel, which is what every Akwa Ibomite should demand for.
Yes.
So at the moment, I'm not drawing any conclusion until I'm done with my investigation and until questions are answered by the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. Because my own take is that we should not allow that place to die the way other government concerns have died in Akwa Ibom State.
Now, very important question. Very important question.
The issue of retrenchment and all those things border on this. But I want to tell you that from the looks of things, that hotel from the onset till now is running at loss to Akwa Ibom State government. And to inject further funds into it is also a disservice to Akwa Ibom people. Akwa Ibom people without proper auditing.
Thank you. Thank
so
you,
that's
Mr.
what
Nomo.
I know for now.
Yeah,
but
thank
I'm
you.
Still investigating.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your live report. That is somebody that is very patriotic, and he has gone as far as doing very personal correspondences.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And I want to say that we want to commend Sir Charles Udo for responding to a citizen's mail. That is something you had to find among government appointees.
Hello?
I can hear you. Thank you. Let me just conclude. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's conclude there because of our time. We will bring you on to give us feedback in days to come. So what I'm trying to say is that a number of government appointees we have handled their issues directly here. They have refused to even respond to our letters. And most of these things even hangs on industrialization, the industries. So it is quite disturbing that we can have government appointees not being responsive to their responsibilities. Congratulations to Sir Charles Udo. You responded to a mail. You are wonderful. I remember he did the same thing when we did a documentary on the, Ibibio Union Museum. He sent his team there to receive open forum, and we had a wonderful time. Thank you, Sir Charles Udo. We will get to Charles Udo someday to be able to see what he can tell us about that place. But our guest has said that it is not advisable for such money to be put in without the audit of the place. And I agree with him. We shall document this and more. There are several facts that if you hear, you have goose pimples. We've done justice to those issues. Now our guests who are in the house, they understand how our program is. It's not easy. Like we keep saying, we are looking for sponsors. We can have the one we are doing this 1 hour. We are doing it under very strenuous circumstances that I refuse to say, let me back down. After all, somebody once told us that this program will die. You don't want to help do propaganda like they are doing to it. It will die, it will not go on. But we are going on years after, and we'll continue to go on. But you need to support us because it is very challenging running this kind of program. We have in the studio the man that I call Mystery Man. Max is coming out because this matter, like, what's his name now? Was it Dele Giwa that said that the man that is facing an assassin does not look at the mud on his shirt or the tear on his trouser. We have Mr. Ekpo, the director of crude surveys, crude formations and surveys limited. I will get that corrected later because what I'm using is blood. Mr. Ekpo, you're welcome to Open Forum with Citizen MKO.
Thank you, MKO.
Thank you for your understanding.
And good morning to the good people of Akwa Ibom State and our listeners.
Thank you. You're welcome. Next to him, we have a man who is a consultant, Mr. Ubum Effiong, and he is a consultant that has so much to do with remote sensing, geoinformation remote sensing, and GIS consultant, associate member of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors, and he's a member of the African Association of Remote Sensing of the Environment. You're welcome, our consultant.
Thank you, Citizen.
Sorry, we are going to share mic. Yeah. Now, let's get back to our mystery man, Mr. Ekpo. I want to start from you. You have followed conversation. So far, Crude Formations and Surveys Limited. Sorry, we are trying to make sure our equipments respond. Your organization, Crude Formation and Surveys Limited, you've made a rejoinder to what the Cross River State government have said officially. And I want to be very fast about this. And you said here, the call from Cross River State spokesman, Honorable Cletus Obun, for the matter of the 76 oil wells of Akwa Ibom State to be placed on a roundtable of solutions. The abstracts are, by these submissions, Honorable Obun is calling on everybody to come to his roundtable to hear that, one, Akwa Ibom State already has 1,000 oil wells, while Cross River State has none. Two, that the 76 oil wells matter, which the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Akwa Ibom State in 2012, are not even enough to heal the Cross River State from ill health of oil wells kwashiorkor. Three, that it is not enough to call Cross River State a state by name while sitting on the Cross River without any benefit from from the rivers or the sea, even though the land is legally, fundamentally, and politically landlocked by geographical descriptions and orientation based on the 1913 Anglo-German Agreement and treaties. We'll come to that. Four, the call to the political roundtable solutions is therefore only to cast away carelessly the 1913 Anglo-German Agreements and treaties of ancient landmarks which the Almighty God has said no one should remove. Five, this call is for people to come and hear what other people had promised Honorable Obun. The President of Nigeria, President Tinubu, had promised. Former President Obasanjo had promised. Senator Akpabio, and now the President of the Senate had also promised. So it is all about promises, promises, and promises unlimited that we will hear from Honorable Boone on the roundtable of solutions. 6. Yet, Honorable Boone will not see any promises in the Supreme Court ruling of 2012. 7. Are there no promises in the Anglo-German 1913 treaties? Agreements and rules establishing and demarcating these regions to mark and ensure peace and tranquility of lives and properties intelligently well packaged on those regions, and the existing agreement and treaties in favor of Akwa Ibom State and any other state. The sea surveyors went to the sea and conducted, that is number 8, conducted the sea surveys expedition. Authorized by who? And to whom were the reports submitted? Was that just enough to come out from the sea survey and claim political right and begging around for promises as solutions? 9. Almost all survey works and executions are always solely and primarily directed towards the peaceful coexistence of people and honorable societies, which such achievement may not be derived from any roundy political tables of solution. 10 as the last, not the least. We are therefore very sure that Cross River State knows that in the honorable court of law in our nation, there are better tables which can provide better judgment, better solutions, much more than 1,000 political roundy tables and begging around to subvert justice and the right and peace of Akwa Ibom State people in this case. On our part, we are calling on everyone to give peace a chance, doing the right things to let peace reign freely, quite absolutely, in these regions of our nation. And guess who has signed this? Surveyor Eyo Ekpenyong Essen, Project Management and Programming, former Surveyor General of Akwa Ibom State, retired, for Crude Formations and Survey Limited. You have heard the rejoinder by Crude Formations and Surveys Limited, and we have the director here. And I want to start with him. Going by this rejoinder, sir, you've mentioned something called 1913 Anglo-German Agreements and Treaties. What is that about?
Thank you, Kudvi.
Yeah, please speak to the mic, and let's be a bit audible because of our listeners and viewers. Yes, sir.
The 1913 treaties was the agreement signed between German and British that colonized Cameroon and Nigeria. That treaties was based on the protectorate of the territories during those colonialism. And the treaties enlisted so many things before the boundary demarcation was done by the British and German.
So how does that affect this issue of Bakassi Peninsula and 76 oil wells, which is the matter on the front table? Let's go straight to that, sir.
Now, the 1913 treaty has affected as it has affected the 76 oil wells, that the boundary that was between the Uyo province and Calabar province was originated by the British based on the treaties. That boundary from Ogbokong River down to Bakassi Peninsula was demarcated natural by as it was by the water that traverses. That is the Cross River State. The Cross River waters.
Yes.
That traverses between Cross River and Akwa Ibom as the boundary.
Yes.
So nobody, even the National Boundary Commission, has no authority to shift that boundary from Ogbokong River.
Now, we are going to be very specific. Our time will not allow us the luxury to deal too long on some issues. We want to make it point blank. As we speak, are you aware that the former Attorney General, Barrister Manuel Wandaka, who was the Attorney General when these issues happened, in fact, he said he handed over on Nigeria's part, Bakassi to Cameroon. He has spoken about this, that they went to Cross River in the course of trying to do findings, trying to put things in order, that Cross River State government did not receive them at all for 5 days. And they came to Akwa Ibom and they met with the Akwa Ibom team. They went back and had a meeting that the consideration that they were going to have boundary commission headed by the then Vice President Jonathan was having to do with something about Sildat Akponkom River, not even the coastal issue. who wants to take this? Would you want to take it, or would you want to take it? Okay, let me take it. So, looking at what Andwaka has said, and he has concluded that it is impossible to want to revisit a judgment that the Supreme Court has given its final ruling. Speak to that. Is it that the Ponkom River and the 24 villages seeded has given out that section of Akwa Ibom to Cross River? Is it official?
Not at all. Because there are laws that are involved before a boundary could be adjusted.
Yeah.
Based on the Nigerian Constitution. Now, there were laid down laws before that boundary was made by the British. Provisional Law of 1959. All the villages were all spelled out from Okpokong River to Bakassi Peninsula.
Yes.
That was under Uyo province before Akwa Ibom State before Southeast State
was
came
created.
into Eastern and Cross River.
That's right.
To Akwa Ibom State.
Yes.
That boundary was already there.
So supposing that boundary has been shifted, I want to speak to a geophysical consultant. Please, what do you have to say about such development in case? Because we have heard that there are 2 oil wells that they have found to be in Cross River, and last week, our consultant, Mr. Ekpo, said those oil wells are likely in Akwa Ibom that the Cross River has also claimed now. And going by what Ondaka said, as an expert, what is your take on this? Briefly, sir.
Very quickly, we need to always remember that boundary delineation is guided by certain ideologies, and those ideologies have to be put in play when delineating these boundaries. There are pertinent questions we want to ask. When these things were being done, what reference was made to existing laws, edicts, and delineations as was under the provinces? What references was made to these existing laws that guide the arrangement of these territories naturally? The 1913 agreement had respect to the natural outlay of the land. That's one of the beautiful things about the 1913 agreement. There was a respect to the natural outlay of the land,
yes,
as indicated by the Okpokong River,
yes,
which takes that delineation all the way to Bakassi. There was respect for the existing natural outlay of the land.
Absolutely.
Now, this is what we are asking, that no matter whatever the boundary delineations, we want to see the incorporation of ancient landmarks, existing references.
That's right.
International laws that have existed and shown the process which ought to guide.
So now, if we are just thinking aloud, because several years ago, I think it was under Governor Abe or so, Akwa Ibom State government put up the insignia of AK at Ponkom River. They used dynamite to blow it up. And as we speak now, some persons are considering part of Akwa Ibom to have been ceded. Was it done through political solution? Our consultant, Mr. Ekpo, you take that. And what would you recommend to government? Very briefly, sir.
The problem lies on the National Boundary Commission. They are the architects of these problems. They have no authority to adjust a boundary, leaving the laws that were guided those boundaries.
And without respect to the communities.
And without respect to the communities. How can you move a boundary from a village where people were not born? How do you expect them to acclimatize with the environment?
No referendum.
Without referendum, asking those people if they want to belong to Cross River State, without going reference into those provisional laws.
What is your advice to the Akwa Ibom State government on that?
Akwa Ibom State has a clean case on ground. I should advise Akwa Ibom not to pounce on Supreme Court judgment alone. We have many new facts that that are emerging right from this moment.
Yes.
Which Akwa Ibom State is going to present. Akwa Ibom State has all the
available documents
tools
and facts
to forget the Supreme Court judgment. I'm talking authoritatively.
Yes,
Akwa Ibom State equally has the document to forget judgment from the International Court of Justice. I'll come back to that.
No,
especially the implementation.
We won't have time on air to devote everything. We had said last week, I actually sent messages to government officials, top government officials, to please either listen or mandate their aides to monitor our program because we have two persons in the house who are resource persons that you can never ignore. Anybody that does so at his or her peril. But unfortunately, if a king sins, the sin of the king is on the people. If a king fails, his failure is on the people. So we don't allow a king or a leader to fail. Even when it seems as if, what you're doing, this is not how we're supposed to do here and all of that, we will not allow it. Your Excellency, Pastor Omo Basieno, I beg of you, sir, you may wish to send a message. I will bring these two gentlemen. I have seen some of the documents, and one of the court documents is what I want him to talk about briefly, because we're going to open the phone lines. It does not matter whether they come on this program next week or not, or never come on this program over this matter again. We have done enough, and we are going to send a follow-up memo to His Excellency that the facts are there. Now, one of the issues we took up at the Open Forum Town Hall meeting in 2022 is now currently at the National Assembly. Can you just speak to it briefly? The Mbo Mangrove Swamp, as brief as in 2 minutes or less, because we want to open the phone line at least for 2 or 3 calls.
Mbo Mangrove Island was not part of Bakassi Peninsula that was ceded by the International Court of Justice to Cameroon. Cameroon did not file a suit of claim on Mbo Mangrove Islands. Therefore, the International Court of Justice did not grant them sovereignty.
So why is that fair? Is it that Cameroon is still in control of the Mbo Mangrove Islands?
Exactly. That is the Cameroon are still controlling the Mangrove Island. That is why we have sent a motion to the National Assembly classifying it as illegal annexation of Ifianbo Mangrove Island by the Cameroon Republic with over 2,560 oil wells. 2,560 oil wells? That belongs to Nigeria.
That belongs to Nigeria and belongs to Akwa Ibom State. That has been ignored by... Let me come.
Those oil wells...
Yeah, go ahead.
Is the 76 oil wells that Cameroon are just chipping to Akwa Ibom State. That 76 oil wells is part of the 2,560 oil wells that they hail in their kitty. Now, who should have shared oil wells to the people?
Yes.
It's only Akwa Ibom State that can share oil wells to Cross River State. It's only Akwa Ibom State that can share oil wells to Cameroon.
Are you hearing this?
That is the problem caused by the National Boundary Commission.
Thank you very much. Like I've said, 1 hour, never enough. But even this 1 hour, we know what we are going through to keep this program going. And I want to say this, God forbid that it happens. The day you will not hear our voice, we will only be doing podcasts because nobody can silence us. But if you can hear this, and you are in power, and you don't need this idea. I once saw an administration that was allergic to ideas. This very administration is not allergic to ideas. We want to appeal to His Excellency. There's more about this. This was raised at the Open Forum Town Hall meeting by this same consultant. And by the grace of God, it's been taken up by the National Assembly. We want to open the phone lines because callers will not pardon us if we refuse to let them in. The numbers to call are 0803 085 7755. Or you call 0809 066 6909. Before the calls starts coming in, Mr. Ubomefiong, it's like you were nodding your head when he talked about the Mbo Mangrove Island, yes, which was not ceded. It was not part of Bakassi Peninsula. Yeah. It was not ceded, yeah, but Nigerian government are not aware, but our team, let me say our team, because I'm part of the team, yes, have taken the matter to the National Assembly. Your short take on that.
Very quick one.
Yes.
I mean, how do you, the technical implementation of the ICJ court judgment is the issue. There is a difference between peninsula and island. Bakassi Peninsula is there. The Mbo Mangrove Islands is there. The confusion was brought in because of resource issues. The confusion was created because of resource issues.
And what do you mean?
Now, because Cameroon used the idea of peninsula to ascribe the Mangrove Islands, yes, as to annex it. So the idea, there are issues. That's why I said we need to revisit the technical implementation of 2002 ICJ judgment.
That's right.
Are we talking about Bakassi Peninsula or are we talking about Mbo Mangrove Islands?
You have heard that these are two different things. and oversight has caused Nigeria to lose revenues from 2,506 oil wells that are domiciled in Ibom Mangrove Island, which is part of Akwa Ibom State. And you are hearing that on radio, first on Open Forum on Memories 96.5. Today is August 4, 2025. Maybe network is stopping callers from calling in, but we will not allow that. We have opened the phone lines. You can call in. You are very free to call in. If it's just one person, that will be enough. But then people will say, how could we have gotten to National Assembly and we are not aware? After all, are we not very well informed, well-positioned persons? Tell the world, sir, Mr. Ekpo, what is the extent of the involvement of the National Assembly on this Ibom Mangrove Island?
The motion was processed and it was classified as a matter of urgent public importance. Ad hoc committee has been set up, but they have not yet started the investigation.
Yes.
There are about 9 senators are there to carry out the investigation on the matter. We would love the National Assembly to invite Director General of National Boundary Commission
Indeed.
on that matter. We would love the National National Assembly to invite Attorney General and Minister of the Federation.
Okay.
Let them come and present. Let the NBC come and present Bakassi map that they have produced.
That's right.
We equally will present the actual map based on the legal laws.
That's right.
And our findings.
Yes, we have the maps
Yes.
with references to the treaties,
Indeed.
from the former colonial treaties and everything. We don't want to present at the National Assembly ordinary.
No. We
are inviting the National Boundary Commission to be there
with their map.
They are the custodian of the Nigerian
Absolutely.
territory under Section
Indeed.
20 of the Nigerian Constitution.
Okay, one other question.
No, they should come with Mangrove Island equally.
That's right.
That will separate the difference between Bakassi Peninsula and the Mangrove
Akwa
Island.
Ibom people.
The treaties did
Excuse me,
not
hold
lump
on, sir.
two of them
Hold on,
together.
sir. Akwa Ibom people, Nigerians, this is a bold challenge on Open Forum, which is an MKO on Memories 96.5, that the National Assembly or the federal government, Mr. President, should be interested in this very matter. It's not just a National Assembly matter. Let the Director General, National Boundary Commission, and the Attorney General come to present the documents and the map they have concerning Bakassi Peninsula that was ceded and Ibom Mangrove Island, which was never ceded, and then to show if we are getting as Nigerians the revenues from there, or it's been administered. This is very important. That's why I keep re-echoing it. Unfortunately, our callers cannot call. Maybe the program is too hot for them to get in. We want to hear Mr. I like your surname so much, Ubom. This you don't call me Mr. Ubom.
Well, it's interesting to have this discourse today.
In 30 seconds.
Yes, and so we are. It is the same thing that position is what we are really hammering on. We have been able to, as a team, sit back to integrate information from various sources, from maps dating back to the 1913 through 1987 down to this moment. We have integrated all that information to show where resources ought to lie.
It is there, handy.
Yes.
Leave it there. Mr. Ekpo, let's have your parting shot so that I can sign out.
Well, I thank Open Forum for this opportunity for us to express and showcase to the Akwa Ibom what they have in stock.
It's the world, not the Akwa Ibom. It's to the world.
To the entire world, exactly. Because we have been trying to open this program to the government, but there was no way. So many people have been blocking us from presenting this program before His Excellency.
Nobody can block, not again. With Open Forum, we are about people, issues, ideas, and solutions. And like we say, that wherever this flag is flown, we take care of our own. We are taking care of Akwa Ibom State. We are taking care of Cross River State. We are taking care of Nigeria. We are taking care of Oro people. We are taking care of Obolo people. We are taking care of Ibom people, Anang people. We are taking care of Akwa Ibom people generally. We are non-partisan. And what we have brought to the table, it cannot be used by us. It is government. After God, it is government. This administration cannot be like an administration that was allergic to ideas. And some of us are in crisis, which we have refused to reflect upon our lives because very soon the world is going to hear certain things going on. The Yorubas have a saying that when an elder does not respect himself, he has only one eye, and that one eye is on his forehead. What does that mean? One will only be a monster not to respect ideas, not to be honest, not to have integrity. We have done this for humanity. And I remain Citizen Matthew Kofi O'Connor, MKO. If you want to support us, this is our phone number. We need this support. We need this support. 0802 757 7497. I sign out by saying that wherever this flag is flown, we take care of our own. And this is MKO. If I say yes, consider it done. Thank you.
Oh.